Great baseball question. Who was a greater Minnesota Twin? Was it Carew or Kirby Puckett? Now, Carew played longer, and he's going to win the statistical category. However, at their height of heights, Puckett got an answer. You know, the argument for Carew is because he was an incredible hitter. I will say this: it's a funny, true story. As a little boy, I actually had that plastic bat and ball. It was the Carew set. That's how big Carew was, even with the Minnesota Twins, where they weren't even a successful team, but his respect as a hitter was on par with that of a Pete Rose. And before Tony Gwynn, he was a respected hitter who hit for average, and he was a balance. He wasn't the power slugger that Puckett was, and the dexterity, and he played second base. He was in the infield, but he was respected with what he could do with his numbers. He was an all-around, strong, great talent that could really put the ball in place, and he was really respected. He was definitely somebody that I thought a lot of, and I thought that he was the truth. And so when you put that in context, he didn't have the same amount of postseason experiences because, again, baseball was a different game back in the day. You know, if your team stunk, your team stunk. You could stand out. And the thing about baseball, unlike the NFL to an extent, and definitely about basketball, you can be great on a scrub team, but you can be remembered. Your team might not ever win jack, but because you stood out and your numbers count for something. So that's the recurring theme and argument there. So that's what he's got going for him. But anyway, Carew was a bad boy. He was bad. He was the truth. He really was one of those guys that you studied and watched his hitting and his technique. He was the stone cold truth, and he could really, he was a player's player. He was great. But when we get to Kirby Puckett, pudgy cat, carried body weight. And unfortunately, he caught glaucoma, which limited his playing career. But what he did in that window, caught 2 rings. And nobody going to forget the 91 World Series because you remember Ron Gant hit that ball. And he climbed up on that wall, got that rock, won the game with a home run. I mean, could you do more dramatic? Could you be more clutch? And that's how people remember him. Puckett was dependable. He was clutch. He could give you the feel. He was 6-time Gold Glove winner in center field. So don't let the size, it's the heart of the matter man fool you. He was a beasting out there. He would hit for power. He had the whole 9. Both of them are Hall of Famers. Both of them are first tier. And I do believe that if Puckett had to play longer, he would have overtook Carew with numbers because his short term, his window was bigger and better. But Carew, it doesn't take away, was a